What I have here is a OG fat 60GB PS3. So the first thing, I'm going to go ahead and open it up. So we're going to turn it on its side. And you will see the little sticker here, that's your warranty sticker. Have to peel that off. Once that's off, there's a little plastic nub here. You might be able to get it out with your fingernail. If not, use a little flat tip screwdriver. That comes out. And then inside of there, you will see a little security bit. I actually don't have the bit for this, but you can use a small flathead to get into those grooves, and that should work as well. Once that's loosened, you turn it back right side up, and the top just slides off. And there we go. I'll go ahead and take this screw out of here. Okay, now that we have that top off, you've got a bunch of screws around the sides here. And these are just Phillips. I am going to use Phillips 1. And with these, you do want to keep in order because they are different lengths, some of them. So I'll usually just try and line them up the way they came out. I ended up taking out 9 screws. And then once you do that, this top kind of lifts off. The front does have kind of a lip connection, so you do want to just be careful with that. And when you pull this off, just be really careful. There is a ribbon cable there. I'm just going to go ahead and disconnect that ribbon cable, make it a little bit easier for me. And that is for the SD slots. Now that the top is off, we're going to get into taking out these components because what we need to get to is all the way at the bottom. We got power supply, DVD drive. The DVD drive itself is just kind of plugged in. You've got cables over here, which I'm going to disconnect, and then you have a ribbon cable underneath. So with that, just going to lift off and pull it out. And there's our DVD drive. Power supply, there are some screws holding it in. Now while I'm here too, I am going to disconnect the wireless radio. Just be careful with this. Rather than using a screwdriver, I'm going to move over to a plastic spudger and just kind of pry up that little connection. Then that wire will come, and then there's one screw holding that in. I'm going to go ahead and take that off, get it out of our way. Remember, kind of just keep everything together. Okay, now that that's out of the way, start taking out these screws in the front here of the power supply. And there's a couple in the back as well. And then that should just lift off. Still be careful because there are some cables here we got to disconnect. Right in the front here, I'm just going to pull that right off the board. And then in the back, you've got one cable there. And there we go. Set that to the side, kind of keep the screws with it. I am going to disconnect the ground screw. Okay, now this entire metal plate has to come up. You do need to take these brackets off. And then around the outside, there's a good number of screws. So just going to start going at it. Now these screws are not all the same size, so it's a good idea to kind of just keep them in the order that you took them out. So I took out a total of 9, but I think I missed one right here, so 10. And I think that's going to be all of them. Let's see. Nope, looks like I do need to take out this board as well. With this board, there is a ribbon cable, so I'm going to go ahead and disconnect that. And I'm going to keep the screws as well as the little metal board here all together. Alright, let's see if this will come up now. Okay, and then with this board, what you need to know is back here, there is some clips that are holding it in. Actually, you can see one right there. So you kind of got to lift it up and then pull it out. And then watch these cables that are sticking through. And then you'll see it'll kind of snap out. That does make it very difficult to put back in, but come on, it's not too bad. Okay, now that that's out, this should just lift right out and give you access to the board. We might be better off just flipping it. Sometimes that does work a little bit easier just because there's no real good way to grab it. So I'm just going to I'm going to hold my hand on the board and then kind of slowly flip it over. You don't want anything to fall out. But once you do that, the bottom should just lift off. Something holding onto it on the right hand side here. Oh, I know what it is. I never removed the hard drive. So we'll go back. Remove the hard drive. There's one screw. And it's the infamous blue screw. Got a couple things like this back plate. There's little tabs holding it on, but that can come off. There is the power connector for the fan. Let's go ahead and get that out of the way, as well as the battery. You may have seen that on the internet. These batteries are causing issues, so if you need to replace it, you do need to come all the way down here to get to that battery. You know what, this fan does pop right off, so we'll go ahead and take that off. And then you'll see I do have the new thermal paste. Might do some cleanup, maybe be able to put a little bit too much. Once the fan's removed, let's go ahead and remove this hard drive tray. Oh, I'm going to need a smaller Phillips for that. So for the hard drive tray, I am using Phillips 0. So the hard drive tray actually stays onto this metal. You just want to release those screws to allow you to get away from that plastic. And that's it, guys. That's how you tear down or take apart a OG 60GB PS3. Hope that helps you with any future repairs you may need to do. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.